Think of this hip as the initiation that goes up your spine to throw, like that way. And that can go a little faster. We don't want it to be too slow because then we match what we just did, but this is like, yeah.
Move your body like, oh, origami, mommy. What's your name again? Please remind me, mommy. I look better when you're beside me. Move your body like, oh, origami, mommy. What's your name again? Please remind me, mommy. I look better when you're beside me.
Here, switch the legs and you pretend that the ball is dropping and catch it right before you.
We can do a little you and me. We can do a little you and me. I'm not the type to complain about what you do. I do me so you do what you do. Run low if you like to.
The Choreographic Lab has developed from an idea that we had at Scottish Ballet. Actually, Christopher Hampson, the artistic director there, firmly believed in the fact that if you want to be a choreographer, one needs to practice their craft all the time. So he created a model where in-house the dancers would be challenging themselves to build their skills as choreographers.
Or we get assignments that require us to collaborate with different people. It's a process. And how it starts is that you get an assignment, you complete the assignment, present it in front of the entire group, and then you get a next assignment that builds upon that assignment.
In the hills, pull up to the mansion, your friend.
I participated as a choreographer in that myself and found it hugely rewarding. So when I came to Charlotte Ballet, I wanted to try and recreate the model, and last year we did that super successfully with the support of in-house rehearsal directors and directors of the second company and visiting choreographers and myself.
Choreography is something that I think that really helps my dancing, and it helps me figure out when I go into a rehearsal with anybody that I have the tools and I can kind of go into their mind a little bit as they're creating the process or setting the process, and it helps me just be adaptable and helps me figure out how to achieve what they're going to ask of me.
But at the same time, it really pushes you outside of your comfort zone and it challenges you every step of the way. If anyone that's in this group has never had the moment of like, oh my gosh, then like you're not really doing it correctly.
I'm running late, but I'm on my way. They say the best things in life are free.
So last week I set their first task, and they will be presenting their work next week, and we'll be doing this throughout the year so that they can practice being choreographers, being given small tasks that have parameters that force them to be creative in different ways.
Turquoise water, see the sea life. Sunrise early, you can see.
You're just given this host of boundaries, but at the same time, the wonderful thing about boundaries is I feel it acts more so as a guide and not something that is restrictive, and that's what Choreographic Lab is about. It's a guide to help guide you essentially into stepping outside of your comfort zone and creating something that you might not have even thought of or began with before.
But in that same sense, it also teaches a lot of the dancers that you won't have all the time in the world to figure it out too. And dancer's life is a busy life. It's full of egos and different time restraints and different scenarios that you're just going to have to deal with. And so the timing is hard, but it kind of forces you to make that decision. Like, well, we don't have a week to figure it out. We have a day to figure it out. So what is the right answer today?
I don't know if I would call it competitive. I'm very interested in what other people do because it's a very broad spectrum of where you could go with it. And I think that's the coolest thing about what we're doing with all of this is that, which we know each other really well, but like, I just like seeing what other people come up with, and I just think it's cool. I mean, I'm like excited to see when somebody comes up with something that I didn't and then be like, that was amazing. Like, yeah, I wish I came up with something that cool, but at the same time, it's like, you go. It's fun to be proud of your friends and see them succeed, especially if it's like their first time trying or something.
I think that this year, everybody who's participating knows the layout, more or less. Hope likes to throw curveballs, which is good. They're good curveballs, but we're a little bit more prepared and we're a little bit more ready for the challenges that we're going to face with the Choreographic Lab.
Kick out, this arm comes over, this arm comes over, look, chest compression, and switch. You're really like trying to bring your eyes up, but then it slips back on your head.
I don't like to keep it on me, no, cause I probably pull it on me. Got the Navy in.
All right, so Sarah Ingle, I'd mentioned a couple of times that the lab was not just for the dancers. I had opened it up for the whole Charlotte Ballet organization. I had known that she was a choreographer and had interest in dance and had danced herself, but when she reached out and said, could she participate in the lab, I was thrilled.
So it's almost like this feeling that you have going back this way, then comes into the air.
Sarah comes from a more contemporary background, so her work is very weighted in that kind of contemporary style that's low to the ground, the kind of work that uses gravity in a really beautiful way.
I think that once we also settle into it even more, there's going to be like a real sense of being able to like let go and settle into all of this and the bounce of everything. Yeah, because I think that I don't mind seeing the exhaustion. I think that that is part of this, is the endurance of having to do it. That's what I think this opening section is about, is like this group mentality of like fear and keeping your people with you and having to like stay, serving panic is the name of the first section.
And then we asked the choreographers to develop specific ideas for the final performance series. Sarah really wanted to use numbers, so she's actually gone for a much larger group. I'm excited for her this year that she was able to find a group that would commit to her for this final performance. It's going to be exciting.